Hi everyone, Salesforce Admin Training Day 5. Now today's agenda is we will focus on the going through the previous session and we'll talk about the permission set today, and then we'll talk about how to create a permission set, and then we'll talk about properties of permission set and profile versus permission set. What is the difference between the profile and permission set? And then we'll talk about the permission set group. What is the permission set? What is the permission set group? And how to create a permission set group. And then we will talk about the properties of permission set group. Then we'll have a roles. Roles, if the time permits, we'll look at the roles. Otherwise, we'll see the rules tomorrow. Okay. Now today our focus on the topics is what is a permission set? What is permission set? And also we have a permission set group. Permission set group. So these two which we are going to learn today. These are the new topics which we are going to learn today. Now let's go ahead and start. Now before that, what did we learn yesterday?
Create profile, edit.
What did we learn yesterday?
Profiles.
Difference between profile and user.
Creating a profile, viewing the profile, editing the profile, and what are the standard object permissions are there? What are the options are available in the profile?
Difference between user and profile.
Difference between the user and profile and a user license profile.
Permission sets. Also.
Yes. So these all we have seen yesterday. Active guys offline. Everybody is sleeping or what? Receiving the very less response. Okay, so let's move on. Now, permission set. Now, permission set is nothing but what is the permission set? First, I'll give you the definition, then I'll explain about the scenario. Now, permission set is nothing but permission set extend the functionality of a users without changing their profile. Permission set is extend the functionality of users without changing their profile. That means I don't want to change the profile. Without changing the profile, if I wanted to extend the permissions, the one option which we have is a permission set. Permission set basically when it comes into the picture is permission set expand or extend the visibility or functionality of the particular user instead of profile, like based on the profile, whatever the user has access. If the user needs more access, then better way to go for it is permission set. So permission set extend the access of the profile, whatever the profile is there. On top of it, if you apply a permission set, the user will get a more access. User will get more access. Now example, I have a user 1, user 2, user 3. These are the three different users are there. These are the three different users are there in client. When I say users, internal team, client internal team, assume that admin team, they are admin team. So client admin team, they are the one client admin team. Now admin team has a three members here. Admin team has a 3 members. Now these three members, we have already created a profile. Application where we have given a marketing cloud, sales cloud, object level where we have given an access, account, contact, opportunity, product, right? These are the profile level. Already we have created a profile and we assign the profile to the user 1, user 2 and user 3. Now this is working perfectly fine. This is working perfectly fine. Suddenly in the client side, there is some changes has happened because we all know there are some promotions happens in the company, right? Whoever is a team member is there, they will be promoted to team lead, right? If the person is performing very well, then it is going to promoted to the team lead. Similarly, junior member gets promoted to the senior developer if the person is doing very good. Whenever they get a promotion, their responsibility gets increased in the company. Their responsibility. For example, here we have a user 1, user 2, user 3, all are performing very good in the admin. But user 3 is performing more than whatever the user 1, user 2 are doing it. That means his performance is very good compared to work and as well as the other activities also he is doing good. Now company has promoted them, client has promoted them as a senior developer, senior admin. Assume that client has promoted them senior admin. Whenever the client or a company, whenever the person gets a promotion means what? Promotion means you are getting added the more responsibilities. Promotion is nothing but you will be added more responsibility. That means additional responsibility gets added. When the additional responsibility is added to this user, now this user needs to have a more access to the system, right? Before he was having a very, for example, if the person is promoted to the team lead, right? Then once the person is promoted to the team lead, then he should be able to see all the information, whatever is happening in the system. That means we should give a more access to the system, like a HR activities, team member activities, or some more activities wherever the team is performing, where he can look at what is happening on it, right? If we give a more access, then only the person can perform it accordingly the responsibility. Now, user 3 is promoted. When user 3 is promoted, client requested that this person needs more application access. Right now, this person has a marketing cloud and sales cloud application. Now, client says that as this person is promoted, we need to have a more profiles. We need to have a more profiles. That means more profiles in a sense, more access to the application. Now, whenever client suggests this person has to have a more application access in a sense. Right now, this person is able to access, if they click on the app launcher, now this person is able to see only two applications, marketing cloud and sales cloud. Now client is requested, the person user 3 should be able to see all the applications here. Now whenever the client requested something, right, that means additional application needs to be added here, right? So in this scenario, if it is a person working for more than 3 years, if it is the person working for more years, the person will look at the requirement from the client. Assume that the new requirement is user 3 should have a full access on all the applications. That is the requirement. Now here the differences will come between the fresher and the experienced person. If the developer is experienced, what is the decision he will take it? If the person is experienced, what is the decision he will take it? If the person is just started working on it, definitely he will go with the profile. Definitely the person will go with the creating a profile. But if it is a person already working on it from real time, from last 3 years or 4 years, the person is already involved in implementing the real-time work, they will not go with the profile. Because we know that it is better if we create a one profile and multiple permission set. So we always handle the one profile and along with that permission set. Now, the person will take a step here to create a permission set. They will take a permission set. They will take a decision here to create a permission set. Now, what is this permission set does is permission set. We are going to create a permission set here. What is the permission set does here? Permission set extend the functionality of the user. Now, because this requirement is came, I cannot add all the applications here, right? It will be impacted user 1, user 2. If I add all the application here, because of user 3, the other users gets impacted. Now, instead of that, instead of touching the profile, what we will do is we will go to the new permission set. New permission set extend the functionality of the user. Now assign this profile. Don't change anything on this. As it is, let it be there. I'll create a new permission. And what I'll do is I'll assign this new permission to the users. Now this user got a more access, more energy, or kind of a more strength he got it. Because he has a profile is already there. Along with that, permission set is also already there. Now he got a more access to the system. He got a more access to the system. Is that clear, everybody?
Yes, ma'am.
Permission set. Offline. Okay. Fine. Now let's move on. Now this is the usability of the permission set. This is the usability of permission set. Now, permission set, that means the scenario here is I'll have a single user. I'll have a user. User will be 1, right? I have a user here. And on this user, I'll create a profile. We'll create a profile. Tomorrow, if the person again it is promoted, then you can create another permission set. So profile will be 1 and you will be creating a different permission sets. Different permission set. This is one permission set. This is second permission set, and you can assign multiple permission set. You can assign multiple permission set. Tomorrow, if they come up, the reason is the concept the Salesforce suggests is create a one profile and go for a permission set. Go for a permission set. Now today they will say that, okay, I need few more access. I need team lead is having already one permission set. Now I need a few more permissions. I need few more permissions. Then I can simply create another permission. So Salesforce doesn't suggest you to modify anything profile. Salesforce doesn't suggest you to create a new profile or modify the existing profile. Now, if you know that, okay, so if it is a not simple change, now team lead is going to get a complete different access together. That means right now profile has few permission sets, like profile has a application access, right? Sales Cloud, right? Sales Cloud, Marketing Cloud. I'm just taking the application here, Sales Cloud and Marketing Cloud. Now let's suppose profile is having the application Sales Cloud and Marketing Cloud. Now let's suppose team lead, client says that team lead should not have a Sales Cloud, Marketing Cloud. Team lead should have access to the Service Cloud and Sales Console Cloud, right? So there are different clouds are there. We wanted to give those access. Now, is there a link between this access and this access? Is there a link between this access and this access? Already I have a profile. Profile has a app, sales cloud, marketing cloud. But here team lead is completely going to get a different cloud access. In that case, you can go for a team lead. In that case, you can go for a different profile. In that case, you can go for a different profile. But you know that there is a already profile is available, but they are expecting few more additional access on top of the profile. They are expecting existing profile on top of it, few more access. In that case, go with the permission set. That is a simple difference. Clear, Dhananjay?
Swapna,
Yeah.
if a profile has access to sales application and marketing cloud, what if the user do not have access to sales application? In this scenario, do we need to use the permission set or do we need to clone the profile?
Permission set is extending the profile access. It will not decrease the profile access.
Okay.
It will not decrease the profile access. It will extend the permission access. Okay. Then you have to take a smart decision by convincing the client. What you have to say is whatever the profile is there. Now I'll create that profile with the minimum access. Now, which are the users you need additional access? I'll create a permission set. Then I can assign that permission set to those users.
Okay.
You cannot decrease it. You always increase the access of the profile.
What if I want to decrease the permission, to decrease the access?
This never happened. Okay, whenever in the real time, it never happened because client always suggests us to create a profile with minimum access. They don't say that create it with a full access. So client always suggests you to create a profile with a minimum access. That means very low level, whoever the low level person is there, that low level person access, they will take it and they will tell us to create it. But in case if you receive like this kind of a requirement, then you have to tell the client that there is a already profile is there which is having the open access. If you want, we can decrease it. We can decrease as a minimum access. On top of that, I can create a permission set. I can give you the permission set. Whenever you are creating a user, based on the user access, you can assign the profile and permission set.
And Swapna, one more doubt is, we have sales application and sales console cloud application, right? So if the navigation is the only difference between these two applications, why do we need to have sales console application?
Repeat your question again.
We have sales application and sales console application, right? So if the difference between these two applications is only the navigation bar, navigation items, then why do we need to have sales console application? We have sales cloud application, right?
Are you talking about the sales cloud and sales console?
Yes.
That's just example which I have given. It's just example that I have given. In the real time, you will see different applications. Right now here, there is a health cloud is there, right? Content, Salesforce chatter, community are there. There are different things are there. The example which I have given is some example that is. So instead of a console, let's take it as a lightning usage app or a digital experience. Team lead is going to get access to the digital experience and board solution. These are the two things which need the access to the team lead.
Okay, but in yesterday's class, we told that for sales cloud application and sales console application, the only difference is navigation bar.
Salesforce has given sales application is where you can see all the information. When you go for a sales console, what are the things that you can see?
Click on the drop down menu, then I can see the navigation items.
Right?
Oh.
By default, is it showing anything? But you can see all the information here. You can see all the information. But can you tell me that this is a lightning or a classic view?
This is a lightning view.
This is a classic view. This is classic view. Now, if you go to the sales, click on view all, open the sales. Now, what is this view?
This is a lightning.
Lightning. How can you tell this is a lightning view?
Because it has navigation bar and the components.
By looking at this, you can tell that this is a lightning view or a classic view. How you know that? By looking at that. When you open the sales console, is it displaying this icon?
No.
Now, how can you identify more in depth? Go to the setup. Go to the setup and you have a option called App Manager. App Manager. So in the App Manager, Salesforce has given a by default so many sales applications they have given. Sales Lightning, Sales Console Lightning, Salesforce Chatter Classic, right? So like this we have. So Sales Classic, right? Sales Lightning, right? Sales Console Lightning. See, this is a playground, but it is not the same as a real time. Real time, you will not see the same. Like it might be there, but you have an option to, if you do not need it, you can change this and modify these all things, right? But right now, Salesforce is by default, they have given these options. Now in the sales itself, they have given a classic view and the lightning, but you can see classic also in the here. You can see classic also here. So there is much differences between the sales console and sales. The applications are same. Now let's move on. Permission set is, we know that it's a user use the permission set to grant additional access to the specific users on top of the existing profile. On top of the existing profile. So whenever we wanted to extend the access of the profile, then create a permission set. That means without modifying the existing profile, we can create a new permission set. We can create new permission set. Now, permission set controls object permissions, field permission, user permission, tab setting, app setting, Apex class, visual force. So these all permission sets it control. That means whenever you are creating a permission set, you will have a control in the permission set, object permission. You can extend the object permission, field permission, user permission, tab settings, app settings, Apex classes, visual force page access. Right? These are the different access you can improve it. If you want to add a tab setting, if you want to update the object permissions, right? And also app permissions if you want to create it, or anything that you wanted to extend, you can do this. These are the different things which you can control on in the permission set. Now, let's go ahead and create a one permission set. In order to create a permission set, set up users permission set. So click on a new button on the permission set. Now this is the new button. When you click on a new button, this is the screen you will see. This is the screen you will see. Now here you have a label where you will be entering the permission set name, and then you have a session activation is required. Session activation is required is basically this checkbox is whatever the session you have. For example, you can create a session-based permission set that activates only when the user's authentication into your environment. That means if the token is expire, then user need to re-authenticate the access of the application. So it says that session activation is required. So that means you need to activate the session, then only you can access the permission set. If you do not activate the session, you cannot access the permission set. And the last one, you have a license. License is, it says it is available, but it is not mandatory. It is not mandatory. Now, let's go ahead and create a one permission set. Now we have this user. This user has only 2 applications, right? So what I'll do is I'll create a new permission set. In order to create a permission set, go to the administration, users. Here you have a permission set. Here you have a permission set. Permission set is, by default, Salesforce is providing the 25 permission sets are there. By default, Salesforce is providing the 25 permission set. Now let's suppose I wanted to create my own permission set. Click on a new. When you click on a new, it says here label. I'll say that app permission set. Now description, you can add a description. For now, I'm not checking this activation required because we are not going to generate a token or activation. We will not be doing it in the real time. Also, we will not use this. License is not mandatory. Now license, if you choose a none here, that means whatever, if you plan to assign the permission set to the multiple users with a different user permission set, you can assign it. If you do not have a license here, if you do not have a license which says none, that means you can assign to any user. You can assign to any user. But if you specify a license, you can assign this permission set. You can assign this permission set only to the users where the license is analytic clouds, or else where the service user, wherever the license is service user, or wherever the license is Salesforce. Now let's say that it is a identity. Okay, wherever the user is available with the identity, then we can assign this particular permission set. Or else if you have a charter, you can assign the charter one, charter free. That means if you say here license charter free, that means wherever the users has a license associated with as a charter free, only those users we can assign this particular permission set. Other users we cannot assign it. Now let me show you that. Click on a save here. Now I have created a permission set. Now let's go to the users tab. Now in the users tab, now what is the permission set that I have created? App permission set. App permission set license is a charter free, and then app permission set here, and we have a different configurations are available. Now here, if I wanted to assign the license to the Messi, if I wanted to assign the license, if I wanted to assign the permission set, to this user. Now let's click on edit assignment. Now what it is showing, is it showing the app permission set? It is not showing the app permission set here. It is not showing the app permission set because here the license is charter free, and for Messi, the license is Salesforce. Now, whereas if you go to the another user, we have a charter free. Charter free user is available. What is the license here? Charter free. Now, if I go to the permission set assignment, click on edit assignment. Now I can see the app permission set. That means if you specify the license here, if you specify the license for the permission set, then you can assign this particular permission set to the users wherever the license is matching. Where the user license equal to permission set license. If it is matching, then only you can assign the permission set to the user. Now what I'll do is I'll click on edit properties. Now I cannot change the license. Now let me delete this. Click on a new permission set. Now here again, I'm creating the app permission set. App permission set. Now click on save. Now click on save. I'm not assigning the license now. Now I have clicked on I created the app permission set. Now what I'll do is I'll go back to the users. Now we have a messy here and I'll try to assign the permission set. Either you can assign it from the user level or else you can assign it from here. From the permission set, you can assign it. Now let's say here, manage assignment. Manage assignment. Now, as soon as you click on a manage assignment, it shows here add assignment. Add assignment. Now I wanted to add this person. Now click on this, select the person and click on a next. Once it is selected, now simply it says that no expiration date. Specify the expiration date. Permission set gives the option. Do you want to assign this permission set for a long time for this user? Or else, do you want to assign this permission set for this user just for a 1 day, or a 1 week, or a 30 days, or a 60 days, or custom date? If you want to, for example, if you just wanted to assign this person 1 week, 1 week, that means we wanted to see how that person is performing it, or let's say 60 days. Let's say 60 days, how the person is performing it. So based on that, what we will do is we will assign it. So click on it, assign here. Click on assign. So once it is assigned, that means we are assigning the person for a 60 days. For a 60 days. It says here, expires on 5/7/2023. Expires on 5/7/2023. Now, if you want to delete it, select this delete, or if you want to edit, it is edit here. Now here, no expiration, now specify the expiration. Now I'll say 1 week. Now it says that new 13 May. That means 1 week I'm giving it. Click on assign. Failed, see the status of message below. Now what it is says Salesforce. Now click on it done. Now let me see here. Now it says that here already it is updated. 13.5. So in case if you want to delete it, you can delete it. Now, again, if you want to add it, you can add. Again, if you want to add it, you can add. Now here, whenever you click on a permission set, whenever you click on a permission set, manage assignment, you are seeing this screen. You are seeing this screen. But client says that, no, I do not want to see the options expire, no expire. We do not want to do that. We will handle. We will handle whenever we wanted to remove the permission set, I can remove it. Whenever I wanted to add, I can add it. I will manage it myself. So don't show me those options while creating the permission set. If client says that, okay, don't show me those kind of a permissions, those kind of a options whenever we are whenever we are assigning a user to permission set. Now, in case if you do not want to see those options, go to the user management settings. In the user management settings, now here scroll down. Now you have something called enhanced permission set component view. Enhanced permission set component view. Yesterday we have seen enhanced profile user interface. Enhanced profile user interface. Now we have a different options are there here. Enhanced permission set component view. So let's enable this and see what is happening. Now I have enabled it. Let's click on a refresh. It's in the user level. Now let's go to the permission set. Now let's go back to the permission set. Now I'll say manage assignment. Manage assignment, add assignment. Now click on yes. Click on next. Click on assign. Now did it show that option? It is not showing that option. There is no expiry on time zone, right? Click on it, done. Now did it show? It did not, because expiry on is empty. Again, I'll add it. Now click on a remove. Now I'm adding it again, add assignment. Now click on this, I'm selecting the person and I'll say click on next. Now I'm choosing this. Now this person is, it is visible again. Did it switch off? Expiration dates. So let's switch off. Permission set group, assign expiration date. Now I switched on that. So let's go back to the permission set. Add permission set. Manage assignment, click on a manage assignment. Now what is happening here, whenever I uncheck this expiration date, whenever I uncheck this expiration date, I'm seeing this the view as a classic view. Before how it was a lightning view. Now let me take a snipping of this. Now here, this is the classic view. It is a classic view. Look at the font, and look at the UI structure. UI structure or UI font, the design is similar to the classic view. Now, as soon as if I say here enable, as soon as I say it is enable, now immediately I could able to see the view in the class, in the lightning. Now let's go back to the permission set. Now here app permission set. Now manage assignment. Now it shows in the lightning view. Now let me switch off again. Permission set and permission set group assignment with expiration date. If you do not want expiration date, now switch off that. So it will be, now if I go to the app permission set, now I can assign the manage assignment. Simply I can click on the add assignment. When I click on the add assignment, now I can choose the person, Messi, and assign it. Right, permission is already assigned. Click on done. Right now, the permission is already added. There is no expiration, nothing is there because we have not added anything. So that is the configuration piece here. It is available. That is the configuration piece which is available. Permission set and a permission set group assignment with expiration date. Create a permission set group with the expiration on date that you specify using the enhanced user interface. If this setting is disabled, you cannot set the expiration date for the permission set and permission set group. Right, till this point, everybody is clear.
Yes, ma'am, very clear.
Okay. Now here, once we are done. Okay, now we are done. Now next step is, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to assign the example which we have seen. In the real time, it's depending on the client. If the client says that just assign this person the permission set only for 1 month, then in that case, that just switch on that configuration, then you can add the details. Otherwise, if client says that do not add any expiration date, then you can switch off that configuration piece, just add the user. So it's depending on the client. Okay. Now, as we discussed the example, now I have assigned the, if you go to the user level, let's click on a refresh here. Now there is a one permission set is assigned to the user. One permission set is assigned to this user. It shows here on top how many permission sets are added here. Now, one permission set it is added. So now what I'll do is on the permission set, I'll go to the assign apps. Now I'll say here, click on edit. Now what I'll do is I'll assign everything. Now let's say that I'm assigning all tabs, all this information that I'm assigning it. That means basically I'm assigning all the applications. What are the applications we have? Everything that I'm assigning to the permission set. Now assume that right now I have assigned these apps. You selected save. Okay. Now click on save. Perfect. So these are the available. Click on the permission set overview again. Now again click on the assign apps. Now I can see these are the apps which are available. Now this permission set is already assigned to the Messi. Now as I have already updated the permission set, I have already assigned the permission set. At the permission set level, I have updated the apps. Now if the user click on the apps, now let's log in into the user. Now click on save or refresh. Click on it, refresh. Now here, the person is able to see all the applications. What are the applications we have selected? All the applications, we can see it here. Now how this is happening? We did not change the profile. We just updated the permission set. And we have assigned the permission set. Right? Now let me create one more permission set. Let's say that I'm creating another permission set. Now here label is, I'll say that tab permission set. Click on save. Now this permission set also, I'll assign it to the Messi. Now add assignment. Now here I can assign it to this person. Done. Now how many permission sets are assigned to? Messi? 2 permission sets are assigned. So like this, in the real time, a user can hold a multiple permission set. Right now the count is 2 here. So there is no restriction that you can assign only one permission set to user or a 2 permission set to user. You can assign based on the requirement. You can assign whatever the permission sets are required. Maximum we will assign 3 or a 4 permission set. We will not go more than that. Maximum it might go to the 5 permission set, but it's not like a 10, 100 permission set. No, we do not go like that. Whichever is the big project, maximum we will go for a 5 permission set. Now I have a 2 permission set. Assume that in the tab permission set, I have let's assume that some tab setting. Now here app permissions. Now let's go to the object settings. Now click on edit. Now this is the one. Now let's click on a task. We have a task. So task is, so I have a task is disabled, it's not available, no access it says. Now I open this one and click on this, edit. Click on the components, everything visible related to, and the type, click on save. Now let's go back to the object setting. Now, in case if you want to different settings, Directly you can click on this arrow button. Directly you can click on this arrow button. Now in case if you want to make a field changes, you can do the field changes here. Apex class you can do. For example, we are in object setting. From the object settings, we wanted to go into the different one. Now app permissions. App permissions. If you want to go for a app permissions, that means these are the different like a permission names. We have a different permissions which are available. Right? These are the things which are doing it. Now, in case from the app permissions, I wanted to go for some custom permissions, you can go for it. Or if you want to go back to the object setting, you can go back. So from here, you can drive to the any other. You can drive to the any other options. Now, for example, if I wanted to show the work type, available tab setting, visible, right? Click on save. Similarly, you wanted to check another tabs like we have a different tabs are available. Right, this is already done. Like this, you can redirect it to the multiple. You wanted to redirect it to the multiple permissions. Now this is also you wanted to set it as a tab settings. So you can do all this. Basically, you are going to extend the visibility. You are going to extend the visibility of the whatever the objects are there. So right now, assume that there are two permission sets are available. Two permission sets are available. Now, there are few properties of permission set. Now, permission set always have a true. That means once a user have a multiple permissions, whereas one permission set can have a multiple users. That means now this permission set can assign to one user or a multiple user. I'll go back to the another permission set. Now here app permission set. I'll assign this app permission set to the multiple users. I will assign this to the multiple users. That means permission set can be assigned to the one user or a multiple user. Now here I'll select a Kishore, Himaja, click on assign. Now it says that permission set app set was not assigned to the two users. See that cannot complete the operation because it would extend the number of apps allowed by the user license. It is a Salesforce platform license, so it is not accepting that. Permission set app, permission set was not assigned to two users. The reason is cannot complete this operation because it would exceed the number of apps allowed by the user license. It means these users are already having those kind of access. It would have the sales platform is already having those license. Now, if you want to extend it as per this platform, we cannot extend the more license. So when we are assigning the permission set, you need to see whether this permission set can be accessed, can we assign this permission set to this user or not. Now, if you already have a profile which is already have the full access or a different access which is available, right? Now, if you want to extend, which is already there. Now, if you're trying to assign here, it cannot be assigned. It cannot be assigned. Now, let me take another one. Now, add assignment. We need to have something system admin. Now, I'll take the batch April, click on save. Click on assign. Now, I'll click on done. Right, so there are specific licenses we cannot assign the permission set. You need to properly build that permission set and then you have to assign it. Now, one user can have a multiple permissions, whereas one permission set can have a multiple users. Permission sets are used to grant the permissions temporarily or a long-term specific fields. permission sets are temporarily it is added or it is granted the permission for temporarily or a long term. And license is not mandatory while creating the permission set, which we have already seen. But after creating the permission set with the license type cannot be changed. That means once you create the permission set with the license type, you cannot change the license again, because you have seen that first time you have created the charter free permission set. Now again, when I try to change the license, I cannot change the license. That means once the permission set is created with the license, I cannot modify the license. I cannot modify the license again. So either you need to delete that permission set and create a new one. So here differences between the profile and permission set. Profile and permission set. Profile is nothing but profile have most restrictive settings and permissions a user assigned to the profile should have. A user assigned to the profile should have. Permission set is extend the access settings and permissions provided by the profile. Whatever it is provided by the. Okay, you have not taken the notes for the previous. Okay, take a notes. There is no relationship between the profile and permission set. Both are different. Both are different objects. If you delete a profile, it will not impact the permission set because there is no relation between the profile and permission. Only the relation which has user and a permission set, user and a profile, user and a license. User is linked with the profile, user is linked with the permission set, user is linked with the license. There is no links between the profile and permission set. Clear, Jyoti? Let me know once the notes has taken, Chandrasekhar. Chandrasekhar, is it done? License matching is not mandatory for the permission set. When I say not mandatory, in a sense, if you are creating a permission set, for example, you are creating a permission set. While creating the permission set, you are specifying the license. For example, charter free. When you are specifying the charter free, then if you are assigning this permission set, to the users, whenever you are assigning this permission set to the user, now it has to match. It has to match with your user license. If your user license equal to charter free, then only you can assign the permission set. To the user. If you do not specify while creating the permission set, for example, you have not specified the permission license. For example, you have not specified the license while creating the permission set, then any user can be assigned. Now, license matching is mandatory for permission set. Whenever you create a permission set with the license by specifying a license, then that time it is mandatory that it should match a license with the users. That time it is mandatory with matching the license. Is that clear, Suman? It's a simple example, like a magician. right? Musicians or whoever is there. First, they will have a minimum energy or minimum strength will be there for the musicians. So as they keep on doing some activities, the more strength gets added to them, like, right? So similar to this here, profile will be very basic level. As you add on the permission set, the user will get a more access, more energy. One permission set can have or cannot have multiple users, ma'am. One permission set can have a multiple users. Similarly, one user also can have multiple permissions. It's a many to many. One user can have a multiple permission set. One permission set can have a multiple users. Now, profile and permission set. Profile have most restrictive settings. Most restrictive settings. And permission set, right? A user assigned to this profile should have. That means profile, whenever we are creating a profile, we will create a profile with very restricted access, very restricted and a minimum access. And permission set is where it sets as a extending the access settings of the or permissions of the profile. Now permission set, profile, a user can have a one profile assigned. A user can have one profile is assigned. Now permission set, a user can have a one or a more than one permission set. Is that clear, Tejeshwar? One user can have one or more than one permission set. Now, profile is every user must be assigned to a profile. Every user must, it is mandatory that you need to assign a profile to user. Without assigning the profile, you cannot create a user. You cannot create a user. Without assigning the profile, you cannot create a user. Whereas permission set is, it is not necessary. It is not mandatory. Without a permission set also, you can create a user. It is not necessary for every user to have the permission set. It is not necessary to create a user with the permission set. That means it is not necessary that every user should to have a permission set. You can have a, if you have 100 users, out of 100 users, only 10 users might be assigned permission set. That is all fine, which is acceptable. Which is acceptable. Clear? Now, is everybody taking notes? Now, next one is a permission set group. Now we have understood the permission set. Next one is a permission set group. Permission set group is nothing but this permission set group is introduced in spring 20, which is 3 years back. 3 years back, the permission set group was introduced. Before it was not there. Permission set group was not there before. It was introduced 3 years back during the spring 20 release. During the spring 20 release, they have introduced it. Now to combine the multiple permission sets, sometimes what happens is clients has raised it. It is very difficult for me to remember the permission set. Whenever I'm creating a new user, it's a scenario with the client. It is scenario with client. So client says that client is getting the users. Okay, users, they are keep on getting the users. So every time they get a user, they need to add a user here. Whenever they add a users, we have some 20 permission sets are there in the 20 permission sets are there in the organization. It is very difficult for clients to remember which permission sets should I need to assign for this user. Which permission set should I need to assign it for the other user. It was very difficult for them to handle it. So that means they have to note down somewhere whenever the new user is created, based on this access, we need to assign this permission set to this user. If it is a different access, then we need to assign it this permission set. They were used to document it. So it was very difficult for them to on-fly assigning the users. So it was a very difficult task. It seems like easy, but it was a very difficult task. Now, in that scenario, clients has requested that instead of adding here one by one, instead of adding the permission sets one by one, can we group them together? Can we group them all the permission sets together so that whenever the users are created, I can simply assign a group to the user. Whatever the group is containing the permission set, it will be by default, those permission sets should be assigned. By default, those permission sets should be assigned. That means permission set group is nothing but combining the multiple permission sets into the single group, which is called as a permission set group. And that permission set group, we can assign it to the user so that whenever the permission set is assigned to the user, indirectly, all the permissions which are exist within that group will be applied to the user. Now permission set A I have, permission set B I have, and then permission set C I have. So these are the different things are there. Now this is the user. This is the user. This user, it is assigned permission set A, permission set B, permission set C. These are the different permissions which are assigned to the specific user. Now, same another user. Same we have another user. This user also it is assigned multiple permission sets. Now this user has the same permission set. This user has another same permission set. Now similarly, what we can do is instead of this assigning it to them each individual, again I can combine this together. I can combine this together and I can apply this to the permission set. That means all these permission set, I can combine this and assign, bring it as a group. And this group I can assign directly to the user. Instead of assigning the multiple users, simply one group I can assign it to the user. Ultimately, those permission set can be assigned indirectly. So this is the concept. Any questions? Permission set group. Permission set group is a simple, straightforward. Instead of creating a multiple, instead of assigning it to the multiple permission set to the users, you combine everything to a group and then that group assign it to the user. Now, if you are creating a new permission set, for example, you are creating a permission set D, right? Do I need to assign separately to this person? No, you can just push it to the permission set group. Automatically, whoever is the permission, this permission set group is assigned. For example, I have 10 users. Assume that I have 10 users. And for this 10 users, I have 10 users. For this 10 users, I have assigned this permission set group. I have assigned this permission set group to the 10 users. Now tomorrow, I'm creating another permission set. As per the client requirement, I have created another permission set. Do I need to assign this permission set to the 10 members? Is that easy? Or if I simply push this permission set to the permission set group, automatically 10 users or 20 users, the permission set gets applied. Which one is easy? Assigning to the permission set group. Just create it and put it into the group. Ultimately, whoever is part of that group, everybody is going to get the access of that permission set. What is the permissions? What is the permissions group? You are saying here profile has a set of permissions. How the profile will have a set of permissions? Permissions is different, permission set is a different, permission set group is a different. Set of permissions is nothing but, anybody wants to answer set of permissions? Set of permissions is nothing but, now in the profile, Vishnuvardhan, in the profile, okay, when I'm updating this, okay, object setting. Now I'm updating multiple objects here. What I'm doing what does that mean? I'm updating the multiple objects, apps. What does that mean? I'm updating the objects, or I'm updating the different users, right? Different access here. In the profile, let's go to the profile, data sales admin. In the profile, what is this called? Page layout, okay? Yesterday we have done something related to I'm updating here field. So I'm updating here custom app setting. I'm updating the tab settings. I'm updating the record types. I'm updating the object settings, standard object setting. What is that called? So simple example, in the standard object, here we have a different thing. I'm removing this. I'm removing the edit, delete, view all, modify all. What is that means? What is the terminology it calls in the Salesforce? I'm removing it, but what you are removing it? How you will explain the client that I'm removing this
access
permissions. We are removing the permissions. I'm removing the permissions of edit. I'm removing the permission of delete permission. I'm removing the view all permission. I'm removing the modify all permission. What is this called? Basically, I'm doing the set of permissions which I'm performing in the profile level. Set of permissions which are performing in the profile level. So each one is called as a permission here. We say that account permission is removed, right? Opportunity permission, opportunity edit permission is removed. That means I'm performing a set of permissions on the profile. I'm performing a set of permissions of the object on the profile level. This is completely different than a permission set. Permission set is nothing but you already performed a set of permissions on the profile. You already performed a set of permissions on the profile. To extend those set of permissions, you need a permission set. To extend set of permissions of the profile, you need a permission set. Simple example. Is that clear? Vishnuvardhan? So on the profile level, you are performing a set of permissions. Now, when you are performing a set of permissions here, profile is already have a set of permissions which are already implemented. To extend the set of permissions on the profile level, you need a permission set. You need a permission set. Now, once the permission set, if you are done with creating a multiple permission set, just combine them and create them as a group. And simply you can assign that group to the user. You need not to play with whether this is the right permission to assign, whether this is the wrong permission to assign. You need not to remember all of those. Simply push them into the group and assign that group to the user. Ultimately, the user will get all the permissions. Creating a permission set group. Set up user permission set group. Now here we have an option called permission set group, and there you have an option called new permission set group. Now here in the new permission set group, when you click on it, you will see this screen. You will see this screen. Now this screen is, you need to enter the label, name of the permission set. Whatever the name of the permission set is there, you can enter that, and the API name is automatically captured. Now description is, in the real time, we will mention the description, because description will give the clarity for the users. What is the, why we have created a permission set. Session activation is required. I'm not going to check this. This is similar to the permission set, and click on a save. Once you click on a save, then you will see that. So let's go ahead and create it. Permission set group. Now I'm creating a permission set group. So the navigation steps are setup, administrator, user, permission set group. In the permission set group, you have an option called new permission set group. Click on a new permission set group. Here you have a permission set group. Now I'll say here sales permission set group. Sales permission set group. Because we have a different teams, sales team, service team, right? We have a marketing team and we have a admin team. Let's assume that I'm creating a permission set group for the admin team. Admin team. So for this admin team, whenever the new admin user is created, assign this admin group. Now this permission set group is used or assigned for internal admin team. Internal admin team. Now click on save. Once the permission set group is created, now here you can see permission set group and then muting the permission set group. We will see this muting the permission set group. Now here click on a manage assignment. When you click on a manage assignment, what is the thing that you are going to see? Now click on a add assignment. Now what it says, it is basically going to the users. It is basically going to the users. No, we do not want the users. Manage assignment is going to the users. No, I do not want. Now let's go here, permission set group. Permission set group. Now in the permission set group, what it says that add a permission set. Now click on a permission set, add it. Now here I'm going to add the app permission set as well as the tab permission set. Click on a add button. Click on add button. Now click on done. Right? Permission set type is regular, name is this, last modified is this. Now we are done with adding the permission set. Now what we have done is here, we combine the individual permission set to the group. We combine the individual permission set to the group. Now what I can do is I can go to the user. I can go to the user. The user is a messy user. Now go to the permission set. What I'll do is I'll delete this permission set. I'll delete these permission sets. Now I have deleted the permission set. Now what I'll do is I'll go to the manage assignment on the permission set group, add assignment. I'll simply select the user here. User is a messy, click on assign. Now as soon as it is done, then ultimately I'm getting the access to the permission set group. Let's go to the user. Now here we have a group will be assigned. Group will be assigned. Now permission set assignment is 0. Permission set assignment is 0 because we have not assigned the individual permission set. Now the next one is a group assignment. Group assignment. We have a permission set group assignment. Now we have a permission set assignment, permission set group assignment. This is where I'm assigning the group. Right? So now I have assigned the group. Now the user, whoever is the user is there, the user will get a access to the both the permissions, access to the both the permissions. Now let's see the properties. Properties of the permission set. Permission set group consists of one or more permission set. You can combine one permission set or more than one permission set. Permission set group consists of one or a more permission set. Now permission set cannot be modified in a permission set group. You are just combining it. If you want to modify the permission set, That means if there is no permissions inside the permission set group, there is no permissions. It just has a group, that's it. That means I have a smaller containers here. I have a smaller containers are available. Now here I have a smaller containers. We have a smaller containers here. When we have a smaller containers, like we have a multiple smaller containers, and there is a big container is available. There is a big container. Now what I am doing is individually I am moving them into the, I am moving them to the here. That means this I'm moving here, 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 this. That means whatever the small containers are there, whatever the small containers are there, those small containers, I'm shifting into the big container. I'm shifting into the big container. Now in this container, some items are there. In this container, some items are there. You have some items here. Now, if you want to take out any items from these smaller boxes, or if you want to add any item, now here there is a space which is available, or if you want to add an item here, items won't be available here. You cannot see item here. Items are within the permission set, within the permission set. Whatever the bigger box is there, in that box you cannot place anything. You cannot place anything. So that means you need to open this. That means you need to open the big container. You need to open the big container, open it. After opening it, now go inside to the, which are the container you want, go inside that, modify some item or modify something here, or add a new item here, then close it. Similarly, here permission set group is a big container. Big container is a permission set group. Permission set group. This is a group. Now within this group, you have a single permission set. Permission set 1, permission set 2, permission set 3. You have a smaller containers which are available. Now in case if you want to modify any permissions, permission set group does not help you. Permission set group does not help you. In the permission set, look at what is the available the permission set. Now, which are the permission set that you wanted to go for it? Go inside that particular permission. For example, permission set 3, you wanted to go for it. So go to the permission set permission set 3 and modify here permissions. Some permissions you modify it, then close it. Once you are done, close it. Then automatically whoever the group is assigned to, whoever the users, assume that 100 users or 10 users, whoever the users it is assigned, everybody it is reflected. Everybody's the access will be reflected. So that's the reason here it says permission cannot be modified in permission set group. Permissions always modify in permission sets, not in the group. If permission is modified, permission set impacts to the permission set group. Whatever we are making inside the permission set, it will impact the group, and that group, whoever is assigned to that group, everybody is reflected to that. Everybody it is assigned. One user can have a multiple permission set. One user can have a multiple permission set groups. One user can have a multiple permission set groups. Simplified the user assignment to the permission set. So the reason for why we have introduced the permission set group is to simplify user assignment to the permission set. As I have explained earlier, to simplify the permission set assignment to the user, it came up with the permission set group. It came up with permission set group. Is that clear? Any questions? Permission set group. Okay. Is everybody noted these notes? Taken the notes? Okay. No. Anybody in online I have a permission set with 2 users, but one of them has a deactive after some time. Will the second user have the same permission set, or do we need to change anything? Now, the scenario here it is, there are 2 users. There are 2 users. Now I have a user 1, user 2. There are 2 users out there. User 1 is, the permission set is assigned to the 2 users. There is a permission set. This permission set is assigned to this user, this user. Now after some time, this user is deactivated. This user is deactivated. Will the second user have the same permission set, or do we need to change anything at a time? Why do we change any permission set here? We will not change anything. The scenario is, it used to be two users. Now that user is deactivated. Why it is deactivated? Maybe this person is resigned in the company. Maybe this person is resigned in the company. Now because of that, we will not change a permission set to the user 2. It will be same as it is. Any other question? Whoever is working in the real time, any questions on the profile, permission set group, license? Okay.
So if 2 people assigned to the permission set group, and one of them should have more permissions,
Right.
then how it will work?
So your question is, there is a permission set, multiple group is there, right?
Yeah, group is
In
there,
that group, I have a group. In that group, I have a multiple permission sets are there. Now tell me here in your scenario, is this permission set is overwriting this one?
No.
Is this permission set is overwriting this one?
No.
Is this permission set is overwriting this one, this one, this one?
No.
No. Each one has their own permission sets.
Mm-hmm.
Now, whatever I'm doing the permission set, I'm not overwriting here. Individual. The purpose of creating the permission set is, I have my own container. I have my own permission set. I'm not going to override any other one. Now, whenever you are putting into the group, Now assume that this is the group. Now in this group, I need a container which has a permissions which are related to the, I'm taking a food item here. Now assume that this is a one container. In this container, I have a small container which has the food, the rice activities are there, right? The rice is there. And second one which has a fruits are there, which has fruits in this container, only fruits are there. In another container, I have a vegetables. In another container, some other water information is there. Now, each one has their own specific container. I'm not mixing the vegetable and rice. I'm not mixing the fruits and rice, right? If I mix it, totally I'm messing up the system. If I mix it, I'll be totally mixing up the system. That means if I want to prepare a rice, then it is very difficult for me to take out the vegetables, fruits, everything, water quantity, everything. It is very difficult for me to take out. Instead of water, I have a small seeds, very small seeds are there, like some different seeds are which are available. If I mix these seeds with the rice, how difficult it is. It is very difficult to take out the rice, which is not easy. Now that's the reason every container has their own specific permissions. We are not going to override the existing. If you feel that there is a overriding, now here along with the seeds, you have a rice also in this container. Don't put this container within the group. Don't put this container within this group, because it has to go with a different container. It has some different activity or different options are available within this. So don't put that into the permission set. Better put it into the different group. Clear?
my doubt is, I mean, we are creating one permission set group, right?
Mhm.
And we are assigning this group to the users.
Right.
And in the users, I mean, everyone, when some people have additional permission, if they want additional permissions, again, those users kept into the other group, you are saying, right?
Yeah. If you have a 10 users, so initially 10 users has the same group. Now later client came back saying that first 5 users should have a additional access. Now in that case, what you have to do, you need to divide a group. That means first 5 members is a one group and second 5 members is a another group. Divide that and create a different groups for them and assign it. So tomorrow in that group, somebody else also can join. So in that case, it is easy for them to assign a group to that person.
Got it.
Ma'am, otherwise we can create the new set of permission group.
Yeah, you can assign that also. But if you assign a permission set, let's assume that you have it is up to the developers and client how they want it. You have a full flexibility to play with Salesforce. Salesforce is the one, in easy way, if I have to say, how worst if you want to implement an application, you can implement with the Salesforce. That means very bad application you can implement with the Salesforce. At the same time, how best application if you want to implement, you can implement it. So it has a both the ways, but it is in the developer hands. It is in the developer hands, whether you wanted to implement a best application or you wanted to implement a worst application. So Salesforce has that flexibility that you can implement the application, very bad application, or you can implement an application, very good application. There is no restriction in the Salesforce. You have to go in this way only. You have to go from here, only this path you need to follow it. No, there is no restriction in the Salesforce. Salesforce has given a full freedom to the developer. It is up to the developer how they wanted to implement. Now, to make this Salesforce org as a very best product or a very best project, or you wanted to make it as a very low product or which is okay product, if you want to implement that kind of a thing also, you can do it. So it has there is no restriction that you need to follow this only. There is no restriction with the Salesforce. That is the beauty of the Salesforce, and it's all in the developer hands. How you do it, it's up to you. And as you said that I have already permission set group, and I can assign a different permission set. As I already have a group. On top of it, client says that there is a new permission set which is needed. Now you are adding the permission set group as well as the permission set. You are adding the group as well as the additional permission set, you are adding it. Now like this, client says that tomorrow again one more permission set. Now, can the client admin team can remember which group they can remember if it is a one group. Now again, what is the permission set do I need to assign it? Now if client remembers this perfectly, this will work. If client says that no, it is very difficult to remember this, because nowadays we are not even remember our own phone numbers, right? Even our parent phone numbers also, it is very difficult to remember, because nowadays we have a mobiles. If I want to tell somebody what is my parent's number, I'll open up that parent mobile and I'll give that, right? It is very difficult to remember the phone numbers. But way back, when the phones are not available, everybody used to remember the phone numbers. Everybody used to remember the phone numbers. So that time the memory power was too high for the human. Now the memory power is very reduced. There is very difficult, very less members who can remember all the phone numbers. Maximum, they will remember the phone number of one person. Could be any one person member, they can remember the one person's phone number, right? So it is very difficult to remember everybody's phone number. Just a second. Sorry. So it was very difficult to remember the phone numbers. Right now, maximum they can remember only one phone number. Same thing for client also, it is very difficult to remember the permission set. If the client are able to remember the permission set, we can give this kind of a setup to them. But if they say that it is a very difficult to remember the permission set because we have so many permission sets are there, then we have to make our only aim in the real time is to make the client comfortable. To make the client comfortable. So it's up to the client. Clear? Somebody else this thing. So it is up to you developers as well as the client, the deal between the developer and client. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Next one is the rules. I'll just start it. We will do it tomorrow. What is a role? What is a role? Role is similar to in the real time. In the real time, companies will have a different roles are there. Different roles are there. That means you have a team member role, team member, then reporting to the team lead, right? Then reporting to the manager, and then reporting to the vice president, right? And then reporting to the CEO. Like that, we have a different structure, right? So based on this structure, based on this hierarchy, you will have a access to the records. So role is nothing but Salesforce roles are a record level if you want to control the access at the record level. If you want to control the right hierarchy. Based on the hierarchy, if you want to control the access at the record level, then we will say that it's a role. That means role defines what level of access should we give, level of record access. Salesforce role are record level access controls that defines what data a user can see in the Salesforce, what data user can see in Salesforce. That means we have so much of data here in Salesforce. We have so much of data. If I go to the home, if I open the account record, right, there is so much of data is available here. There is so much of data which is available. Now, if I'm creating a record, can other person should be able to see this record? Because data security is very important in the real time. Data security is very important. That means we should not share the data to anybody else. We should not share the data to anybody else. Now we have a different team, sales team, service team, marketing team. Now, whenever we have a sales team, if I wanted to share if Salesforce sales team is creating some record. Now, whenever the sales team is creating a records, those records should be shared to the marketing cloud, marketing team. Now, we should not be sharing those records to the marketing team or a service team. whatever the marketing team is creating the records, for some point, we should not share those records to the sales team. But after certain stage, we should share the records to the sales team. Now, this kind of a access will be there. This kind of a level of viewing the data is very restricted. Level of the data, what is the data that I am viewing is very restricted based on the person, based on the role, is very restricted in the Salesforce. So here, one of that is called as a Salesforce roles are record level access that controls the access controls are defined what data a user can see in Salesforce. What data user can see in Salesforce. Now, roles are designed in a such a way to increase the data visibility. That means if the team member is creating the record, now I have two team members. Now I have two team members. One team member, this is the one team member, both are reporting to the team lead. Both are reporting to the team lead. Now this is the developer 1. Let's assume this is the developer 1 and this is the developer 2. Now they are reporting to the team lead. Now whatever the developer 1 is creating the data, developer 2 should not see the data. Developer 2 should not see the data. Only the team lead should be able to see the data. What is the developer 1 is created? What is the developer 1 is created? Whoever is created, that person should see the data, as well as the manager, whoever is reporting to, this person is reporting to team lead. Now the team lead should be able to see the data. Now whatever the siblings is nothing but same level. Siblings are nothing but same level. If there are some another team members are there here, right? Now, if this team member should be able to see other member record, no, this should not be seen. Similar to the performance appraisal. Performance appraisal, when you are filling the performance appraisal is nothing but how you are doing in the real time. Every year you have a performance approval. Every year in the companies, you have something called performance approval. You have performance approval. Something called performance approval. Now, this performance approval, this is there for every year. In this performance approval, you need to fill the data, how you are doing it in the last year, what is the projects that you have completed, how you performed it, whether you did it good, best, very good, extraordinary. Like you need to fill the data and submit it. When you are giving the performance approval, the sheet, when you are submitting this sheet, your another developer should not see that what is the performance approval that you are doing it here, because he will copy everything. If he sees this, then that is not accepted. That is not accepted. So what are the performance approval, which is called as a appraisal also in the real time, which is called appraisal. So you will have a appraisal. So these appraisals are what you have done from last year to this till today. Based on this appraisal only, you will have a hikes in the company. Like you will get a 10% hike, 5% hike, 20% hike. Based on this appraisal only, you will have a hike. So whenever you are filling the appraisal form, the other person, other developer should not see what you are filling the appraisal form. Only should be visible to the team lead. Only visible to the team lead. So same concept here also in the Salesforce. Whenever you are creating a record, the sibling should not see, the whoever is at the same level should not see the data, should not see the data. Now only the team lead should be able to see the data. So roles are designed to increase the data visibility to open up the access to Salesforce records. Now can increase the data visibility through the roles by using the role hierarchy. If you want to share your data to the siblings, now there is a possibility is there that you can do it. There is a possibility that you can do it. Now this is for today. What is role? Role is nothing but Salesforce roles are record level access, controls that define what the data a user can see in Salesforce. Roles are designed to increase the data visibility to open up the access to the Salesforce records and can increase the data visibility through the role by using the role hierarchy. Now, these roles are linked to the user. Now, why I'm explaining the roles here? Because whenever in the starting class, whenever we created the user, we understood what is the user. Now we have understood what is the profile. We have understood what is the profile. Now we have understood permission set and permission set group. Now we have understood what is the libraries. Now the next step is we have a something called a role. So we will look at the role. We will look at the role. So tomorrow we'll have a more detailed session about the role. What happens if they see it? That means they can see all the data. They can see all the data. That's it. They can modify your data. They can delete your data. They can update your data. Whatever the data is there, they can do it. Now, rest all we will do it tomorrow. So today we have learned permission set, how to create a permission set, properties of permission set, profile versus permission set, and then we have seen the permission set group, how to create a permission set group, what are the properties of permission set group, then we have seen the roles. These are the. Is it necessary to delete a permission set after grouping? Why you are deleting the permission set? Okay, I deleted it. No, it is not necessary. The reason I deleted it is permission set group is also having a same permissions. Permission set group is also having a same permissions. Now you are adding a permission set and again you are adding a permission set group. That permission set group is also having the same permission set. So what is the point of adding the multiple times, right? So that's the reason I have deleted. That's the reason I have deleted the permission set and then I have added the permission set group. Roles will not override. No. Okay, what is the profile? What is the profile?
Permissions given.
What user can do?
User can do.
Profile. What is a permission set? Permission set is?
Set of rules and permissions.
Set of permissions that will expand the permissions
User.
of the profile. Now here role is, it is not touching your permission set profile. Permission set profiles are at the object level. Profile is at the object level. Permission set is object level, app level. You have a profile permission sets on the object level, app level, right? Now here let's go to the properties of. Permission set controls here, object field, user, tab, app, Apex classes, visual force. Profile also have the same thing. But does the role has this? Role does not have all this. Role is a completely different. Your permission set and profile will control the access of the object level, app level, field level, user permission level, tab setting level, right? Then you have a Apex classes, right? Visual force. These are the different level of access you can give it through the permission set as well as the profile. Role is on top of it. Role is on top of it. We'll see tomorrow. Role is a position and a designation of the employee, right? That we will see tomorrow. We will see that tomorrow in detail so that you will understand. Now, those are we have seen. What is permission set?
Set of
We have
Set of
already
permissions,
it expands the
functionality.
extend the functionality of the profile. What all can be controlled in the permission set? What all can be controlled in the permission set?
Roles.
What all can be controlled in the
Object,
permission set?
object access, field access,
Yes.
app settings.
Apex.
Tag, Visual Force page access.
Object field
Right.
user Apex class in Visual Force.
Right. These are the one: object permission, page permission, user permission, tab setting, app setting, and then Apex classes, Visual Force pages. Now, what is the difference between the profile and permission set?
Profile is a set
Profile
of
we can't expand.
permissions which the user can see, and permission set is additional set of one. It is the expand of permission set. Permissions and
One
set.
user can have only one profile and one user can have multiple permission sets.
Right. Difference between the profile and permission set.
For providing additional access to the profile, we need permission sets.
Right. So profile is a restricted access. Permission set is where we are extending the access of the profile. A user can have only one profile. User can have more than one permission set. Now every user must be assigned to a profile. Now here permission set, it is not necessary for every user to have a permission set. Now how many permission sets can be linked to user?
Maximum 5.
4, 5.
In
Many.
real time up to 3 to 4, but there is no limit.
Right. Can I create a permission set without selecting license?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
We can.
Yes, we can.
What is profile?
One user can use
Reminds me.
of a user and
The most restricted access it has.
Right. What is the role?
What we can see.
roles are the
Role is a record level access.
Right.
Level access control.
controls the user and permission set.
So role determines what user can see in Salesforce on where they are located in the role hierarchy.
Record level controls the user. Record level.
Record level access control, right? Yes. So example, user at the top level of the hierarchy can see all the data owned by the user. User at the low level can see only the data that is created by themselves. Now homework, create a permission set. Clone the minimum access profile. So you need to create another profile before creating a permission set. Create a profile which is called as a Salesforce minimum access, right? So you need to clone that, clone the Salesforce minimum access and create a Salesforce minimum access profile and assign that profile to a new user which is called as a Hemant Kumar. License is Salesforce. Whatever yesterday you have created, deactivate that user and create a new user here. Give the profile Salesforce minimum access. Profile is Salesforce minimum access. On top of it, create a permission set. Temporarily account edit. Temporarily account edit. API name is temporary account. Now checkbox is session activation is required. Don't make this as a true. Do not check this. Session activation is required. Let's do one thing. Check this session activation required true and see what is happening, whether you are able to see it or not, all the changes. and deactivate it and tell me what is happening. With the activation, how it is working the permission set. With the deactivation, how the permission set is working. License none, object account, enable the permissions of modify all. Assign the permission set to Hemant Kumar. This is one homework. Create a profile with the minimum access and create a user with the license called user license is Salesforce. Profile is Salesforce minimum access. Now log in as that user and see whether you are able to log in as that user. Whether you are able to access as that user with the profile called in Salesforce minimum access. Check how you are performing at the account level. Now next one is a create a permission set. After creating a permission, while creating a permission set, check the session activation required. And after creating a permission set, just at the object level, account is you need to put it as a modify all, assign this permission set to the Hemant and see how you are able to, are you able to see all the permission set, whatever the additional access is there, are you able to see the permission set access? And then disable this checkbox. Now again, observe that what is happening, give the notes. Second homework, create a permission set. Email permissions, API, email permissions, checkbox is session activation required. Here also first uncheck it and then after uncheck, give me the two different observations. License is none. Assign this permission set also to the Hemant Kumar. Assign this license also to the Hemant Kumar. Now the Hemant Kumar will have two licenses. One is previous license, right now the email permission license. Now the next one is a create a permission set group, which is called as a PSG, right? Disable the session activation group. Now assign the permission set of email permission temporary account edit to the group. Now assign this group to the Hemant Kumar. Assign this group to the Hemant Kumar.
The homework to finish.
Okay. Let me know once you note down homework.
Okay.
Homework 3. Let me know once you have taken the notes.
Okay.
We'll take that after this. Is everybody noted down this? Now homework 4. This is will take it later. Now I'll pass the interview questions. Trial head.
No.
These are the trial head. That's all for today.